Welcome to the Emily Otto Show, business coaching for rebel healers, priestesses, and other witchy women. This podcast will give you the tools to help you build and scale your online healing business so you can help more people and make more money. My goal is for you to enjoy your life and business with plenty of time for pleasure and play. I am over the moon delighted you're here. Let's start today's episode. Good morning. Oh my goodness. I am so lit up and on fire today, and I'm really excited to deliver this free training. My goal is that this is a 20-minute or so podcast episode, but that means, as always, teach like I'm giving it to you through a fire hose, because there's a shit ton of things to say about the energy of cash and receiving more. And if you're listening to this on the podcast next week, know that this was a live episode in my free Facebook group, Business Coaching for Healers and Spiritual Entrepreneurs with Emily Otto. Come join me there. I want to talk about this because it's such a nebulous thing. When we're starting a business or when we're transitioning to somebody else paying us and then making money for ourselves in our business, or making money through other people. And it's really easy to get tripped up as a healer. It's why I have a $111 masterclass called Sacred Sales and the Wounded Healer, right? Because there's this wounded healer energy that comes up. So share with me your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if you're here. But here's some of the things that people say, that healers say. This is the background that's running in your brain on repeat is, oh, I don't want to do sales. I shouldn't have to charge money. I don't want to convince people that they need to buy from me. Why do people even need this now? I don't want to charge a lot of money because I just want people to feel better. Or, I just want to be supported. I just want to have enough money to pay my bills, enough money to put food in my fridge, to do the things I want to do. This is so stressful and tedious and taxing and boring, and I don't want to have to do it this way. And those are all wounded healer pieces. The reason being is because, dear healer, once upon a time, you didn't have to do this shit, right? You were not born on this planet in this time, and even in previous lifetimes, probably not to be a blacksmith, probably not to be a potter, although that might be part of your healing arts in the world too. But the point is, you weren't put on the earth to create widgets and sell them. You're here to help other people feel better. And previously in your lifetimes, maybe even in this one, you were part of a village. People came to you for a salve, or for your knowledge of plants, or your knowledge of how to make things grow better, or your knowledge of birth and death and healing, or dreams and dream journeying, or relationships and how to connect with your soulmate or your life partner or multiple life partners. And so there was this network of support that probably wasn't built on money or even monetary exchange, but maybe it was built on reciprocity and collective support. And so there can be this sense of, I just want to do this work and be supported. That's where I come in, to help you build the business and the structure that's going to work for you specifically. And that's what my mastermind is all about, helping you figure out how to get your business to work for you first, and trust that that'll work for your people. And then we do it step by step with each other over time, so I can help you create the foundation and scale your business to consistent 10K months and beyond. That's my goal. That's my work. That's what the mastermind is for. Hop in my DMs. Let's talk about it. I just opened an extended payment plan. It's $475 a month for 10 months. I have 4 spots left, and the Facebook group opens at the end of October. The first coaching call is the first week of November. So let's do this. And wounded healer. I'm a big believer in, you don't have to find the root cause and heal everything in order to move forward. I think that's a bunch of shit that keeps you stuck. I just don't believe it. not with business. Not with business and not with putting your work out into the world. You're going to make it better as you go. And the best way to make it better and more impactful and have better results for your people is to go out there and do it and get the feedback and tweak it. So there are many, many other programs that will teach you how to build a website, what to say, what to do. I have programs that'll teach you how to connect with your clients and create a signature program. And I'm a big believer in that. Your work is unique. You don't just do Reiki. You don't just do massage. You do it your way with your flavor and style. There's probably a certain type of person that you love working with. So let's amplify that. You get to be a healer. The woundedness is part of the beauty and the magic and the value that you bring to your clients, to your work. Recreate the village. The connection, that's part of what this Facebook group is for. That's part of what my big group programs are for. CEO Enchantress, Sacred Sales Priestess. We get to create village and community and love and support each other in our work in the world. Exchange, conscious, cosmic exchange. When your clients invest in your work, let them. Let them invest in you and support you. Let them help you buy the bougie organic strawberries in your fridge. Let them help you pay for your dream house. Let them help you make your work better. Exchange. Learning to be supported and trust other people. Trust your work, trust your marketing, trust your sales process, trust your website. And then you put that trust into action. You have that faith, you put the trust into action, and then we create true belief and proof, right? You're literally building the proof step by step, piece by piece, sale by sale. I just had this amazing woman hop in for my mastermind. We were talking on Friday in the DMs. She hadn't asked me anything about price, nothing. And we were just talking about it. And all of a sudden, I'm getting this bath ready. I put this kaolin healing clay into it, dried rose petals, salt, and I'm checking my phone and I'm looking at my email notifications. And she just jumped in and paid in full and booked her first call with me, and she's in. What? Yeah. That's trust, that's connection, that's time, that's creating a business that works for you and works for your client, and developing programs and services that really support them for what they need when they need it. That's what my mastermind is. Let's make that for you, for your work in the world. So I have 3 major points today, if you're taking notes. Wounded healer, village, exchange, support. Let your people support you as much as you support them. I fucking hate hierarchical systems. It doesn't have to be that way. They get to support you, you get to support them. I have hired one of my amazing clients, Veronica, as my intimacy coach because I wanted her support. And she's invested in so many of my programs and in my mastermind and gotten supported by me. And now I get to be supported by her and pay her as she's paid me. And there's this juicy energy exchange. And it doesn't have to be a one-way directional. Patriarchy, capitalism, old paradigm, old systems, boring. Let's be this yummy, interconnected network of support. The moss, the trees, the water, the air, the plants, the mycelium network. Like, boom. That's what this planet is about. That's what the energy of spirit and past lives and future life progression is all about. So let's do it. Let's do all the fun woo-woo magic hippie shit and enjoy life, enjoy business, enjoy receiving, enjoy your clients. Okay? And so when you're playing with the energy of cash, there's a lot of shitty money books out there. There are 2 that are my favorite. Tosh Silver writes a really beautiful one called It's Not Your Money. Hey, Leah! And she talks about how it's God's money and it's divine connection and flow. And like, God is cool. I'm a big fan of different goddesses and gods in general and a total pantheon of connection. I'm a pagan and a no longer practicing cultural Catholic on all sides of our family. So how do we play with the flow and the energy that is money, that is abundance, that is cash, that is divine cash? Other people's money flows through them to you. And then what do you do with it? What beautiful shit are you making in the world? Are you dreaming of a nonprofit? Are you giving loans to women across the world through Kiva? Are you giving back in your local community by paying your local farmers and investing in your local library and paying your taxes, right? Like, money in the hands of women, especially witchy women, is a very fucking good thing. I want you to have as much money as you want. I want you to have the freedom and spaciousness that is not thinking about every dollar that you spend. Because money in the hands of awesome humans is a good thing. So we have to play with money being divine intervention and purpose. Money flows through people to you and flows through you to other people. So how do you play with the flow? I said there were 2 books I love. The other one is like a Money Meditations by my teacher, Stephen Jenkinson. It's hard to find that book. Easier in Canada and internationally. But it's dope, especially the last chapter. There's not a lot of good shit written about money. There's a few. Those are my 2 favorites. Tosh Silver, Stephen Jenkinson. Check out their work. And then, Gay Hendricks. I hate this book, but there's a couple crystallized, juicy nuggets in here that I want to talk about with this idea of an upper limit problem. This is totally a function of capitalism, and it's a function of privilege and life circumstances and systems and societies that we're born into. There is absolutely a structure and a stratosphere in America. The problem is, if you don't make much money, you can tap into resources that support you. Medicaid, not having to pay much in taxes, subsidized housing, potentially food stamps, WIC, right? But if you make more money, for a brief period of time, you're fucked. That means your health insurance expenses go up. That means your living and your food expenses go up. So there's this bubble gap that you almost have to make less than $30,000 a year on average, or you have to make like $50,000 to $100,000 a year, and that is going to feel more comfortable. So there's this leap that needs to happen. And I think it does have to do with the upper limit problem. So the upper limit problem by Mr. Hendricks is this idea that you're used to a certain situation or only feeling so much joy, right? So much happiness, only receiving so much money. So you hit this upper limit. It's also similar to the glass ceiling for women, right? Of, okay, well, this is as far as I go. This is high as I can take it. What now? It's really hard to get around an upper limit problem because you're surrounded by the same people in the same class, the same style of work, the same dreams. Hey, Michelle. And so the beauty of the internet is that you get to surround yourself with bougie ass women who have things that you want, or people who have lifestyles or access or privilege in a way that maybe you've never seen it before. And so there is this moment of like, wait a minute, can I have that? Do I get to have it? You do. And I don't want to bypass privilege here. It's really hard if you don't have pretty privilege, thin privilege, racial privilege, money privilege, access privilege, ability, neurodivergency privilege, right? So acknowledging that yes, you can always have more, and there are real hurdles in place, okay? Communal abundance, yeah. And so on the internet, in this group, in other groups, shit, we get to see people that make a lot of money or that do life differently or travel the world or have kids and make bank. And it's like, wait, that's possible? So how is it possible for me? So this upper limit issue of how do you expand your ability to receive? And I think it starts with the simple things that are actually a big deal. How do you get more time for yourself, right? Especially as moms, how do you carve out a little bit more time and space? And like shit, it's not going to be hours, right? Or then we're cutting into our sleep and we're sacrificing elsewhere. But how do we get a little bit more juice? How do we kind of like put the CO2 into the engine, right? Put the nitrous into the car so that we can feel better, more juicy, more lit up. And then see the possibility, even if it's as simple as, how do you get more sleep? How do you drink more water? Like, this shit sounds stupid because it's simple, but it's also a big deal. Part of the reason I can do what I do on very little sleep. You guys, I haven't had like more than 5 hours of sleep in a row for at least 2 years. And yet I've got a multiple six-figure business, 2 tiny humans. I'm running it in 20 hours a week with 3 support staffers because of this concept, right? And so, okay, what's the biggest amount of money you can conceptualize receiving? Like, really, really think about receiving. And for me, I felt so grateful to have hired and recruited people making $350,000 a year. That's a real number to me. I have written that number on offer letters and had people sign it, so I can see that number. But in terms of cash received, then for me, it was about, okay, when I sold my house, I had $80,000 in the bank for like a week before I spent it on the next down payment for the next house. So, okay, 80,000, I know what that feels like. I know what it looks like in my bank, in my body. How do I map that onto other things? Start to play with numbers. Start to play with the crazy audacity that is making lots of money. And then receiving. Can you receive more sleep? Can you have more than just enough? Because this is a wounded healer thing too, right? How many of you guys have lived a life of, well, I always make just enough to get by? That's an upper limit problem. So you've got to expand to the upper limit. And I don't necessarily think you have to do that by going into debt. Some people, that excites them. Most of my people, y'all want to be able to support your kids, pay your bills, pay your mortgage, have a full fridge. And so I'm a big believer in making more, taking side gigs, holding and having more, creating savings, maybe investing money in a way that works for you. I had $60,000 in student loan debt. It was a very real amount of money. And I literally threw every bonus, every amount of money from my corporate job at it until I paid it off, because I felt like I had to pay it off before I could quit. That might not be true for everybody, but that amount of money, I thought, okay, 60,000, 80,000. What does it feel like in my body if I triple that? Oh, 100,000, making 100,000 through my business. What does that feel like? Can I feel it? Can I start to act as if I made that amount of money, how would I wake up in the morning? How would I feel? How would I take my shower? Would I buy the bougie shampoo, right? Would I buy maybe one fancy ass coffee a week? How do I energetically feel the idea of investing from that place without massively going into debt? Now, you can go into debt to build your business. No big deal if it's accessible to you, right? Because that's another form of privilege, the ability to get a credit card, the ability to go into debt. And you can do it without doing that. But it becomes an entrepreneurial mindset of, how do I make more money? Because you start to not be limited by the bounds of a paycheck from a corporation and the hours and time exchange for money, but instead, okay, how do I create something people want and sell it? Whether that's a copper water bottle or a package or a program or an event or a VIP day or a downloadable bite-sized bit of your juice, right? So we want to play outside of the container of just enough and outside of the upper limit, while also still recognizing the privilege and the capitalism and the oppression that does exist, right? So surround yourself with people who believe in doing impossible things. Surround yourself with people who inspire you. People who light you up, people who make you believe in possibility, not folks who tell you it can't be done and no one's ever done it and how dare you even shine that brightly. Let them go, release them, leave them behind, because where you're going, maybe they can't follow, or maybe they will and they'll be inspired by you and then they'll come along for the ride, but that's their journey and you're on yours. And you get to fly, following that North Star straight on till morning. Again, recognizing that there are limits. but we can play with the upper limit. We can crack the glass ceiling. We can say, fuck your ceiling. I'm going to go over that direction instead. Right? And that's what I love about being an online entrepreneur. And that's what I love about building a healing business that's actually supporting other humans and making you money. Third point I really wanted to talk about today is receiving more. A beautiful friend asked me this question years ago when I was in my partnership with my girlfriend, and she said, what came first, loving yourself or being loved by other people? And I thought, fuck. Well, in a perfect state of reality, I think it's both. I think we love ourselves into existence and coming through our mom. And then if we're so lucky to be loved and adored by our mom and other parental figures and our family, that's a root. And if we're not, maybe we are lucky and loved enough later to say, I love myself, and this other person is reflecting me back at me, and they love me, and I just get to keep amplifying it. And I think that's the energy of love and receiving more. So we get to learn how to receive more safely, right? How do you hold more? More money, more power, more grace, more flow, more intimacy, more orgasms, more attention, more fire. How do you hold more? You practice and you lean into it and you do it bit by bit and piece by piece and let it light you up and light up the world. When I first started sharing publicly, I knew people were going to come after me. How dare you say that we can quit our job and do something we love and make good money as a healer? I did. One of my closest friends and her boyfriend came after me and told me I was wrong and blew it up all over the internet, and it's fine. They're doing their thing, I'm doing mine. And in the moment, it was not fine. And now, every now and then, maybe every 6 months or so, someone will come at me on the internet. How dare you? Yeah, I dare. I dare. Why don't you go dare? Go dare. I had to play with receiving more orgasms. I had to play with, can I feel this blissed out in my body? Can I be this happy? Can I be this joyful? Can I have a dream house and an amazing husband and kids and a successful business? Can I have a shibari practice with this beautiful man? Can I have intimacy with other partners? Do I get to have it all? How does it feel in my body? And it's step by step, piece by piece, integrating somatically, being in my body, dancing, moving through. I was at this amazing party, Theater Bazaar, this experience. It's not even a party. It's this epic Halloween, dark, dirty, sexy, sensual experience here in Detroit at the Masonic Temple. The Masonic Temple is this crazy, mysterious building, 7 stories high, rumored to be 7 basements. Most people have never gotten to all the basements. There's so many different mysterious, crazy little bits and bobs of this playland. And playing with myself and my energy, I didn't feel like dancing too much with my husband or with my friends. I just wanted to be in my own energy and expand it. And can I hold space? And can I stand the attention, knowing that people are watching me and caring but not caring, and just being in my energy and letting it shine and resonate and amplify? And that's what you're seeing me do online. And that's what I want to help you do with your business, with your spirituality, with your energy. How do you play with receiving more attention, receiving more adoration, receiving more orgasms, receiving more vitality, amplifying the juice, holding it, and letting it be consistent so that you don't feel like you have to contract, or there's a little contraction and you know what to do with it and you just expand it further, right? And that's the practice of energy and being a healer with money as well. So it's not chunky. So it isn't, oh God, I made 10K. Oh shit, now I made $500 next month. No, it's consistent. Big, deep inhales, equally deep and full exhales. It's consistent. It happens over time. It happens with support. You put the structures in place so that you don't have to crash and burn and fold it all down, so that you get to receive more and expand, whether that's breath work, energy, psychic abilities. How many people can you tune in with, right? If you're a hands-on practicing healer, you know that the more you do it, the more sessions become easy, the more people you can treat in a day, the more client calls you can take and kind of let that energy pass and blow through, because you've learned how to receive more, how to hold more, how to clear your energy threads. I credit Ashtanga with my ability to be very clear, focused. I don't have a lot of stray thoughts fluttering around. My brain gets to be clear and focused because I've been practicing 5 years at Ashtanga, about 15 at yoga and flow and breath and movement and motion, and bringing my thoughts back in, choosing, receiving more. And Ashtanga is the building practice, right? I don't get a new posture until my teacher says, all right, that looks good. It looks like you're holding that. Here, I'm going to teach you a new posture this morning. And it's been a while, because I've gone through pregnancy, birth, postpartum, and still maintained my practice. So I've learned, how do I expand within this? How do I be the flow and fill up the container? And then choose a new container, almost like a hermit crab choosing a new shell as they get bigger, right? So you get to heal your wounded healer, be supported, fully supported by a business coach. Hi, I'm available for hire. I have 4 spots left in the mastermind. If money is an issue, send me a message anyways. Let's talk. Upper limit. Play with the upper limit of receiving more attention, more love, more orgasms, more energy, more fun, more play, more joy. How do you receive more joy, right? Access more joy in your body. And from this space, we get to have the energy of consistent cash and wild abundance, and receive more clients and more money, and trust that it is safe to do so.
That's it for today. Share this episode with other Rebel healers so they too can make more money and deeply support their people. Join my free Facebook group at Business Coaching for Rebel Healers with Emily Otto, and stay tuned for next week's episode. XOXO.